At 8:48 with more never-before-heard recordings of Michael Jackson. Made with the late singer's permission during more than 30 hours of conversation with his friend Rabbi Shmuley Boteach. He has now compiled those recordings in the new book, The Michael Jackson Tapes. A tragic icon reveals his soul in intimate conversation. Rabbi Shmuley, welcome back.
Thank you, Meredith.
You were on the show Friday with us, and also we had a Dateline special that night talking about your book and those 30 hours of tape. Some of the recordings were played during both our piece and Dateline. We want to play some more this morning, but before I get to that, address the criticism by some viewers about the timing of this book. Those recordings were made in 2000, 2001, when you said you were Michael's friend and spiritual advisor, but they're just coming out now. Why? A lot of people think, why not before the man died? Why after the fact?
You know, all these famous people who you've had on the show today, they all know what it's like to have an image portrayed to the public, but their real soul is not known. Michael wanted to be known to his public because they were very suspicious of him. And the book was supposed to come out in 2003, 2004. He was arrested on child molestation allegations. Although he was exonerated in 2005, he was so widely reviled it was impossible for his voice to be taken seriously. And really, the book was dead. It was going to just be shelved. When he died, there was such an outpouring of sympathy. I think for the first time, people began to say, you know, maybe we judged him too harshly. Maybe there's more to the story. And I think more than any other thing that's come out, this book has really created sympathy for Michael because people now understand the pain he lived with.
But after 2004, when he was trying to, obviously at that point he'd want to regain his reputation even more so, why didn't he push then to have this book published?
Meredith, there's no way this book could have been published. I mean, think about it. Michael was arrested for the second time in child molestation allegations. He's so eloquent, especially on the subject of children. I feared that this would simply be seen as an attempt to rationalize child molestation. I think it would have made his image far worse. It was a dead project. Michael's death changed everything because it really opened up the heart of the public to him. And I think he's being seen in a totally different light. And I wish he could have seen the reaction to the book because I've received thousands of emails of people saying, you know, I never understood why he was so broken. And it's amazing how honest he is in this book.
And in the tape recorded conversations that he had with you, you do get the sense of a man who was broken, a man who says that he sought attention because he equated it with love, the love he didn't get as a child. But he also was defiant in some of the tapes, particularly when he talks about the way the press vilified him and why he believes they did. Let's listen to a portion of the tape where he talks about that.
I was the first one to break the ice, break the mold, where white girls, Scottish girls, Irish girls screaming, I'm in love with you, I want to... And that gave a lot of the white press, they didn't like that. And that's why they start the story. He's weird, he's gay, he sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber, he wants to buy the Elephant Man bones. Anything to turn people against me, they tried their hardest. And I took, anybody else would probably be dead by now, or a junkie or something with what I've been through, Shmuley.
Anybody else would probably be dead by now or a junkie or something with what I've been through.
Imagine how prescient, how painful those words are in light of his tragic death. Well, look, I always used to say to Michael, all the king's men can't put Humpty back together again, but you can put yourself back together. Ultimately, you can't find scapegoats for your issues. There may indeed have been elements of racism in some of the attacks against Michael, but Michael, let's face it, gave his enemies the worst weapons.
Yeah.
Exactly. Primarily because he thought that as a superstar, some of the rules that applied to you and me did not apply to him, especially when it came to sharing a bed with children. I personally don't believe Michael did anything that was bordered on child molestation. But when you admit that you seclude yourself with someone else's child, not only do you open yourself to the charges that were later brought against him by two children, but you especially make people think that this guy is just very different, and you lose sympathy for him.
You know, he talks to you in those tape recordings about the way he sees himself as a man. Now, this is a man who had a lot of plastic surgery, who was repulsed by himself. Let's listen to that excerpt.
I mean, I don't want to be seen now, Shmuley. Like I said, when my picture came out, I went, ugh. When I saw it on the computer, it made me sick when I saw it. Why? It's like a lizard. It looked like, it's horrible. I don't like it. I never like it. That's why I wish I could never be photographed or seen, and I push myself to go to the things that we go to. I really do.
So why did he keep doing all of that to himself then? If he couldn't stand the way he looked, he was contributing to it with this plastic surgery after surgery after surgery.
I mean, are we really surprised? I think as a culture, we wanted to visit so much of our own self-loathing onto Michael. I mean, Michael just took our self-hatred to an extreme. Who in America likes what they look like? Every magazine says you should be looking like this, and we undergo many procedures. He just had the money to have a crazy number. But I actually believe that Michael is a tragic American icon for that same reason. He sort of exhibited an extreme form of American dysfunction. But are we really surprised at how he didn't look like what he looked, given that we experience the same thing.
Rabbi Shmuley, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
your
Meredith.
insight. Again, the book is called The Michael Jackson Tape.